All right, red zone goal line defense. Again, for you guys that don't know, I'm the defense coordinator at CSU Pueblo. Been there 8 years. Been lucky enough to have some really good guys that have helped us be successful. As we go through this, I got some stats to show you, particularly the last 5 years. If you're in here last night, I went over these defensive expectations. This is what I show our kids all the time: relentless effort, finish in a dominant position. So basically what we want to do is always be pushing the running back, don't let them drag us yards. We want to be number one in the nation in scoring defense, and red zone goal line is really important in there because we are what they call a bend but don't break, and we'll let teams get the yardage, but inside the 20-yard line is where we really practice and set things up. Be number one in the nation in takeaways, especially down the red zone. We really thrive on, our sit coverage I'll go over with being number one in the nation in takeaways. Right? Stop scores. Right? If they can't score, they can't win. Stop the run, control the pass. And again, I'll go over controlling the pass for us means don't allow extra yards after a catch. People are going to throw the ball, they're going to catch the ball. And one thing about when an offense, while we stop the run, is when an offense throws the ball, there's 3 things that can happen, and 2 of them are good for us on defense. Right? A completion is good for them, but an incompletion and interception is good for us on defense. So we'll take our chances best 2 out of 3. Have disciplined players. I talked yesterday about when I say disciplined players, I don't have a problem with some 15-yard penalties if we're being aggressive at hitting the quarterback. An undisciplined player is a guy that jumps off sides all the time or hits a guy 3 or 4 yards out of bounds or a stupid, foolish 15-yard penalty. Again, we play one play at a time. It is whether it's a good play or bad play. Right? Move on to the next one. And our defense is a play as we, not me type of defense. There's no egos. So we'll get into the red zone goal line. This is what we've done the last 7 years, I think 6 years, in the red zone. And I have not found a NCAA stat for red zone defense going back that far. So as you can see as we go through this, and I will explain to you why 2011 was pretty good and 2014 was pretty good. But in our conference, we've been first through third. This was our first year not to be first or second in the conference. And we weren't bad. We gave up a touchdown or a score 30% of the time where teams in the red zone. Right? So we were all right with that. The key is, we like more field goals. If you see here, we got 2 field goals and 12 touchdowns. We'd like for them to get more field goals and limit that touchdown down to about that 12 or 13 point. Right? Make them, if we can limit them to field goals, make them score 3 times for our 1 touchdown our offense score. Scoring defense, right? I've got this with the nation and with our conference in the nation. All right, so if you look at this, and I'll tell you a little bit about this 2011, those 14 touchdowns, only 4 of them are through the air. We gave up 4 passing touchdowns. Gave up 10 points a game. Now, that's a little, in the regular season, we're at 100 points in 11 games. We're at 9.8 points per game. We gave up 24 in the first round of the playoffs in Minnesota Duluth, so that popped it up. So we're at 10.3. I made the statement yesterday that our goal starting out was 17 points a game or less. And as we developed into this, the 2010, we got to 15.6. It went to 15. We did this in 2011, 10.3. I made the goal 13, and the goal's been 13 points ever since that time. This 2011 team, right, that was our first senior class. So we had probably 7 3-year starters. They knew the scheme, knew what we wanted, knew everything that we wanted to do. Right? Any call I made, it was simple, and they knew how to play it. They'd seen every scenario, seen everything that could come up with it. Right? So that's why we were so good there. Now we had 2 all-conference players on defense. We led the country in scoring defense. So it was an anomaly. It was weird. Okay, so we go into 2012. Got a whole we got to replace those guys. So now we got younger guys in. 2013, we ran a 4-3 defense. It was passed down from the boss. Said you're going to run a 4-3. We got a transfer in from Arizona State. He's now playing in the NFL. Came in about 40 pounds overweight though, and he couldn't move. So we thought we'd have a good 3 technique in there, and it turned out it wasn't as good as we thought. So that year right there, you see we gave up a lot of touchdowns, a lot of points. still remained in the top 20 in what we did. 2014, we go back to the 3-4 defense we're used to running. Look what we do. 12.8 points a game, first in the country in scoring defense. All right, so I kind of looked at the head coach at the end of the year and said, now you understand, you see why we do what we do. Now, again, I had some dudes, and you're going to see some dudes if that's some defensive linemen, and I had another senior group that was corners in particular that had started 2 or 3 years. All right, so I had those type of guys, again, built up into this. Last year, we ended up second in the country in scoring defense at 15.8, first in our conference again. So that's where I think this is important.